Welcome to Bratislava, city where we live.
City with UFOs, rivers, pyramids, and buildings with ears. Hello, we are Peter and Jane, and we are living in Bratislava for almost 10 years, but we still don't know it as well as we should.
We also have a lot of colleagues and friends from abroad, and when they're traveling to Bratislava, they're always asking us what they should see, and we're not mostly able to reply except for those generic places like Bratislava Castle, St. Martin's Church, Slavin, and so on. So we decided to create this video to show not so generic places in Bratislava that we like and enjoy, and maybe explore a little bit ourselves and find new places to like.
And if you like it, stay with us because it will be a series of 3 different videos. So stay tuned and enjoy this one.
So first things first, you need to arrive to Bratislava. You have basically 3 options: bus station, train station or airport. If you're arriving to the train station, don't judge Bratislava by it. Not all Bratislava is looking like that. If you arrive into the airport, don't forget to have a look at the plane that is displayed in the aerial of the airport. It's the replica of the original Caproni plane with Slovak National Hero crashed. And basically the airport is named after him. I arrived in Bratislava for the first time almost 10 years ago in 2015. I came here by bus and I had to transfer to the train to go to Vienna for the first time. And this was my first impression of Bratislava when I arrived here on the bus station. It was an old communistic bus station with a lot of homeless people, with very unfriendly looking vibe, let's say. And when I came out of the bus station, all those buildings behind me, they were still in construction. And my first impression of Bratislava was very, I won't say unpleasant, but cautious, I would say. This was the city I was going to move into and study for the next several years at that point. And when I went from old Bratislava bus station to the train station, I was not really pleasantly surprised. But 10 years later, we are sitting on the roof of the new bus station. It's looking amazing now, and we have all these new buildings of new downtown, those Zaha Hadid towers. So everything is changing, and Bratislava is changing too, to the better. So if you're going to use public transport in Bratislava, you will need this piece of street art. This is automat for tickets. What you need to know, there are tickets with time limits, and it's valid from the moment you stamp it in the bus. So you can change buses within this time limit how many times you need. The ticket you will use most is probably 30-minute ticket. If you're going to use a lot of public transport in that particular day, we advise tickets for 24 hours or for 72 hours. But the thing you need to know that there are two ticket options with particular timestamp. You need the one that is more expensive. The one with reduced price requires some particular documents in Slovak Republic, like for students, for senior people, and so on.
If you like riddles, I have one for you. It's blue, it's well hidden, it's still in city center, and it's one of the biggest Bratislava landmark. If your guess is Blue Church, you were right. In my background is one of the most significant landscapes in Bratislava, pretty commonly called as a UFO bridge, but in reality it's called SNP bridge, which means Slovak National Uprising Bridge, and is related to all fallen heroes in Second World War. And I don't know why, but in Bratislava you have a lot of different weird places related to UFOs and space stuff, and you can see them really around the whole city. Like this one. Or like this space rocket fountain in middle of the city. Not everybody knows that you can actually visit that UFO on the bridge. If you would like to do that, I would highly recommend you to use this sidewalk on the bridge. It's just a few minutes walk and offers you a beautiful view on the Danube river as well as Bratislava Castle. And as a proper people living in Bratislava for over 10 years, we're visiting it for the first time just for the cause of this video today. If you're visiting deck on UFO, you have two options. One is visiting restaurant, or there's a second option just to go on the top of the restaurant, which should be easier and cheaper than going to that super expensive restaurant on the top. And I don't really know anyone in Bratislava from locals who is actually visiting that restaurant, and I mean going there to eat something, because it's so expensive that really just getting a coffee will cost you a fortune.
Just for comparison, coffee in that bar costs from 5 to 7 euros.
Which in Bratislava you can find much cheaper places with much better coffee, so don't get scammed in here.
But it feels like it's going sideways. 30 additional steps.
We get scammed. Not only elevator, but also stairs.
So we're on the top of UFO bridge for the first time in how much, 10 years? Yeah, actually I like it. We have view of all landmarks in Bratislava, everything worth noting. We have Bratislava Castle, we have St. Martin's Church, we have Slavin, we have downtown, we have the newest part of Bratislava, Petržalka, we have view on Austria, we have view on Slovnaft, everything I may want. Actually, at this height, it's obvious that Bratislava is not that huge. You see, I would say, 70% of the city from here.
Now seeing that we definitely need wider lens for selfie stuff, even if it is on gimbal. But I really enjoy that view in here, and it's definitely worth. If you don't have a drone and you're not, it's pretty tough to fly in Bratislava because it's so near to the airport. But it's definitely worth seeing that if you want to see the whole Bratislava and how big it is. And actually, if you will look far enough, you should be able to see Austria as well, because if you will be able to see all of these wind electric plant, that's the right word. So all of them, it's just Austrians flexing to us Slovakians, poor nation, with almost zero wind plants like that.
I also just noticed an interesting thing. There is a huge heart where you can leave the lock with your significant other one. But I believe a lot of people, when they came here, they had no idea that they can do that. So girls started to leave their hairbands instead of locks. There are a lot of hairbands in here.
Hi, welcome. Please come here this way. Welcome. I need to see your ticket.
Beware of aliens.
Just to quickly summarize UFO viewpoint, it's really worth it. Cost is slightly lower if you're visiting before 11 a.m. So recommend to go there in the morning in the weekdays.
Only weekdays, yeah. Okay. When you visit during weekend, it's 11 euros 90 cents.
So if you have a chance and you are visiting during the business days, Monday to Friday, you can save some money. It's basically 10 euros instead of 12.
And we are a bit scared of the alien.
Yeah, the alien you probably saw on some recordings between. She was creeping around, so we were kind of afraid she's not going to jump scare us from the back.
Just another small tip from locals. Use the opportunity and go to the other side of Danube river. You have the best views here. You have one of the nicest parks here. And it's really nice walk, and especially in the evening when the castle is lightened, the old town is lightened, you can see it from here. And it's really pleasant, and it's not touristy at all. I feel like here there are only locals. So cross the river if you have the time. So behind me is a hotel that is called Hotel for Self-Development. It's 2-star hotel, we never stayed in, so it's not a recommendation, just mentioning the weird experience we saw. It's like 5-minute walk from the main railway station.
Pets allowed.
Pets allowed. We just saw a rat running just in front of us. This hotel was apparently founded by an artist and quantum physicist. So here we have Cumil, the most famous Bratislava statue. If you take some city tour or something, you will hear tons of different stories. I read stories about sad love. All of them are not true. Author himself said that this is just a statue of curious Bratislava citizen.
This pharmacy is probably one of my favorite landmarks, which are hidden in the plain sight. It is in the city center. You can find it pretty easily. It was private property for long years and owners were not really taking care of it. But city bought it around year 2015 and they completely renovated the whole building. Right now it's fully functioning pharmacy and you can go in there and buy whatever you need. I highly recommend it to go inside and ask the guy who is working in. He was super nice. He was very willing to explain us a lot of stuff around it and the history of the building, and it went literally to the history of the whole Bratislava and hidden stuff you are not usually able to find. In city center on Dunajska Street, you can find a statue which is dedicated to one of my personal favorite Slovakian actors. He was a comedian who was born on this street. He lived his whole life in here on this specific street, and his statue is showing his arm on the ear on the building. It's supposed to mean that he's still in here, still on his street, and he's listening to Dunajska Street. I'm completely blind because of the sun. You can probably see much better than I do, but you can see behind my back there is Slovakian biggest fountain, and this fountain was closed for 16 years. Not that long time ago it was reopened, and as you can see, it's living their own life. It's available for public to go there, stepping into the water, and then especially in such a hot summer days like today, a lot of people are seeking that refreshment in here. Moving from last location to Slovak National Radio building, I would highly recommend you to look on this. This is the Biatec Coin replica, so if you want to see this coin, you don't have to go to the museum. You can see it directly right here.
So Peter told you about his favorite building, and I'm going to tell you about one of mine. It's Slovak National Radio building. It's in the shape of reversed pyramids, and it's one of not so many in the world looking like that. I really like it because it's bold, it's making a statement. Judge me if you want. But as someone who studied architecture, I have a pretty good idea how complicated is that to create a building with this construction, and how important and hard it is to make sure that it's statically correct. So I really enjoy this building, and I'm really glad to see that it was built in the 70s and it's still working like Slovak National Radio, an official building. And they have one of the biggest organs in there with 6,300 pipes. They have concerts, events there, and actually we never went inside. So this is something to correct in the future. So we're gonna slowly finish this video, and for the end we have for you a little scavenger hunt. If you're going to be somewhere around Eurovea shopping center, there are 11 bronze statues inside and around the grounds of circus troupe artists made by British sculptor. His wife wrote a fairy tale which is called Six White Mice, and this whole story describes how this circus troupe, and with the help of 6 white mice, helped defeat the greedy evil king. So try to find all of them, and if you do, you can go to the promenade, the Danube river. It's very loved by locals, and you can enjoy a drink, a coffee, or just have a nice walk with the view on Danube river. So it looks like this video turned out to be quite long, so that's it from us for today.
And if you are considering traveling to Bratislava by car, or if you are wondering where you should go and grab some meal, try some traditional Slovak dishes, or our favorite restaurant, stay tuned, consider subscribing, because these two topics will be covered in next 2 videos. Peace out.